Hello. And welcome back to another episode of Champion of the Gods. Time for episode 3. Last time I left off on the cliffhanger of what place do you dream of? So the options are: I have dreamed of being in a great city made out of stone. It overlooks the water. I have dreamed of being in a twisting canyon that is the color of soil in the summer. There is a noise above me, like scrambling... I read that it's scrambled eggs. Like scrambling legs. I have dreamed of a great building on a mountaintop, half shaped like a moon. I'm going to say the twisting canyon. Color, soil, summer. Scrambled eggs. Magritos nods. The sound you describe is strange to me. The place you describe may be the Demina Pass. Yet I have never been there. I have never even heard of it. I've only seen it. Boom, boom, boom. Perhaps it is a premonition. They are not as unusual as you might think. Tell me, have you never dreamed of a great city in the sky, shining like sunlight and white as a cloud, with many tall people in it, shining too like the city? You shrug. It's the first you ever heard of such a place. Come to the table then. There's another way. Across the room there's a small table with 2 chairs. On the table is a bowl with a shiny bronze knife. You sit at the table. Magritos sits across from you. Give me your hand, he says. I give him my hand. Obediently, you give the mystic your hand. You are a very brave boy. So I will be plain with you. I must not shed some of your blood. Only a few drops, I assure you, to perform a simple test. It may hurt for a moment, but someone courageous as yourself should be no bother. Why am I being so tested, you ask? The elders want to know about your power. That's all it says. There's like a little paragraph, but it says, the elders want to know about your power. He speaks these words with a finality that indicates he will tell you no more. Now I shall make the cut, or would you prefer to make it yourself? I cannot bear the thought of harming myself. Magritos can make the cut. He does it like self-inflicted pain. He's like, oh, I can only kill everything else. I'm choosing that one. Magritos skillfully cuts your thumb. The one clings to the blade. That'll be enough to come with me. On the night of the Great Boar's attack, the moon was nearly full. It is brighter than ever now, as Magritos holds the blade up to it. The cool light makes your blood look like a shadow. Magritos regards this and breathes a sigh of relief. Nothing. Why, it barely even reflects. He looks down at you and smiles reassuringly. You have passed the test, child. Your blood would be glowing white in the moonlight if you were a child of God. But see, your blood is as dull as dust. Now we know for sure that you are immortal, and that is good news indeed. Pancakeeas is immortal, everybody. The end. End of story. And thank you for watching. See you all in the next one. Bye-bye. No, just kidding. There's plenty of game left. Lots of game left. And lots. Why, you ask? More than a little disappointed. You can think of 1,000 reasons why it would be exciting to be the child of a god. Magritos looks at you with amusement, as though your question has betrayed your youth. It is good news because it means the Archon, I didn't say it wrong, the Archon is your father. Or the Archon. Nope. It's the Archon. Finally you understand, not only why you are here, but why your father has been so angry since last night, and so changed since your family. Seeing your great power on display, he thought you may not belong to him. That you may not be his son at all, and that your mother... Suddenly, your thoughts explode with 1,000 questions for Magritos, but one of them is foremost in your mind, and that is the question you ask him. If I'm not the child of God, then where does my power come from? What would happen to me if I were the child of God? What would happen to my family if I were the child of the God? I'm going to say, what would happen to my family if I was a child of the God? It's difficult to say. Undoubtedly, your father would have left the village. Abandoning my mother? Leaving us alone? But why? Magritos grimaces at the prospect of answering this question. It is a matter for us to discuss another time, he says. You do not yet possess the knowledge to understand the answer. Knowledge of the gods, you mean? He shakes his head. No, my boy. knowledge of mortal hearts and what little sense can be made of them. Your father and mother await your return in the doorway. As you draw closer, they read the good news in Magritta's face. Your father begins to smile for the first time since the previous evening. Greet them, Magritta tells you. Greet your family, child, and then he gives you a nudge on your shoulder, and it sends you running into their arms. Your father's hold is almost desperate, as though he thought he had lost you and has found you once more. Even so, it is many days before your mother will speak to him again. His sudden coldness to her and to you, his son, has left a mark in her mind that is soon not erased. Every night you hear him whispering sweet words to her in the darkness, trying to win her back. He seems to fear her anger in a way she did not fear his. And perhaps in the end, it is that wins her over. One morning, some weeks later, you do not know how, but they are back the way they were. They speak to each other with ease, they smile together, and their eyes meet. Love has returned to them again, and your father has been forgiven. I am relieved this incident has passed. You are grateful to have your family back. With them, you will be ready to face the future. It is sure to be an exciting place with great power you have uncovered. You have only to wait to discover where it will take you next. And then I have one big button that says 2 years later. Time skip! Oh boy. So we're at like 7 minutes, and I'm not going to cut this episode yet. So let's start it out with the next chapter. The Attack of the Temak. Temak 1. You are carrying rations through the afternoon heat when you hear an order from the sentinels at the wall. Members of the watch repeat it through the village until the words come close enough for you to Pancakeeas to the gate! This message would alarm a novice, but after 2 years in the watch, you know better than to get excited. Lately, there is a merchant who needs accompanying, a horse that needs tethering, or a mess that needs cleaning. Sentries do not summon apprentices like you for serious matters. You reply with no emotion at all, like a proper sentinel of the guard. My feelings are of no consequence. Pancakeeas answers the call! You reply without emotion. Oh, excuse me. Pancakeeas answers the call. Pancakeeas answers the call. Map. I am Robocop. Inside references. Yeah. I only have this empty can of pop right here. It's very sad. The sentries carry your response back to the gate, and you follow shortly after, looking forward to the day when you'll be their equal. It has been 2 years since your triumph over the great boar, and you are not even allowed to carry a weapon, only a horn with which to summon older sentries. I don't need to carry a weapon. I got my big arm, my big arm, and my tiny arm. That's all I need. You have complained to Magritta of your predicament countless times. Sometimes you think he is the only one who listens, the only one who understands. I can do more, you ought to doubt. My father must know that. Magritta listens patiently, never judging, though sometimes his questions for you are rather leading. For the sake of argument, he once suggested, let us assume that your father knows your worth as a warrior. Is there another reason he might not wish to grant you the rank you seek? You considered this and replied, because I am only 16, and power is not wisdom. There is much I have less to learn. Because no matter how capable I may be, our village should be laughingstock if our guard used young people for defense. I'm going to still go with, I'm going to say because the people feel my power. Magritta smiled wryly. Such a strange day. If you were so dangerous, then why is it allowed you into the guard at all? Would it not be safe for your order to herd sheep? At these words, you find yourself smiling too, and Magritta began to laugh outright. Come now, Pancakeeas, soon you will receive the respect you deserve. If you were not intended for greatness, why would the weavers have granted you such gifts? Magritos is fond of talking about the weavers, the mysterious gods who control fate. To hear him describe them, they sound powerful indeed, operating in secret, guiding all of humanity down their well-crafted pathways, and truly every day of your training seems to indicate that they have an extraordinary destiny planned for you. You have learned, for instance, that your great strength not only makes short work of impossible tasks, it can also make effective weapons out of objects that other young men cannot lift. Remember that. I bet that's going to be useful. And it's like, you don't even have a weapon, but there's a rock next to you. I'll just pick up the rock and go, duh! Oh boy, another decision. And your gifts do not end with your might, although hardly as remarkable as your strength. Your trainers have noticed that I move more quickly than most. I'm more difficult to hurt than most. Okay, so quick and strong. No, he has like iron skin. That's what I'm gonna say. In addition to your extraordinary strength, you are incredibly difficult to injure. So perhaps Magritos is right after all about your grand destiny. But whatever that may be, today you are destined only for more chores. Wah, wah, wah. You make your way through the center of the village. Its squat gray houses painted with powdered blue lines. A group of girls passes by, carrying water from the well at the edge of the village. When they notice you, they begin whispering to each other and giggling. Tell me, Pancakeeas, one girl, Nuala, calls. Are you very busy today? Her tone is mocking, but there's too much smiling in her eyes for the cruelty to be sincere. Her friends explode with laughter, then they are gone. It has been this way for months now. You are nearly of age, and the young women of this village have been flirting at every chance. Okay, is this another thing this game does? It lets you make a lot of decisions if you want to make them. So, I mean, I cannot deny their allure. That's the first decision. Can't say words. I am indifferent to girls as I greatly prefer other boys. You can see where that leads. I cannot deny the girls' allure, although I am equally fond of boys. So, in sake of this playthrough, this particular one, we're just gonna play that Pancakeeas is too strong and like too, focused on being a jerk, that of course he's gonna want a woman. So yes. So only like girls. I've closed off all those pathways by hitting that. Basically, by hitting that, and not, obviously it instantly makes sense, because this is at any point when you show, whenever it will introduce you to a character, it will be male or female depending on what you choose, basically. So, I'm gonna choose. He's interested in females this time, but maybe in a different playthrough, I will choose a different option. Of course, any different playthrough is a long way off, because I've decided to continue this, and this is going to go on for a long time probably, because we are not anywhere through this game. We're still at the very beginning. And this is episode 3, so it's going to be quite a few episodes. So, I'm just going to finish up with this thing, and then I'll call it off, because it's running a little bit long on this episode. Despite this, you have met to meet a girl who moves your soul. When you arrive at the wall, you're greeted by Hethingos. Like you, he bears the rough-hewn cloak of an initiate. And carries a hornet-headed blade. Greetings, apprentice Pancakeeas, he says with a subtle note of irony in his voice. A weary traveler has come to the gate, seeking to pay homage to Hansus. It is your task to accompany him to the temple. He points to the visitor with a horn, the way a full member of the guard would gesture with the spear. A little joke that only another apprentice would notice. I think I should stop horsing around and focus on his work. You're impatient with Hethingos nonsense, and you are not the only one. A gruff voice booms above you. Stop wasting time, the thing goes. It is your father calling for the guard's platform. Show the apprentice to his charge! You look up at him. Only you can see the pride in his eyes behind his demeanor. He would never reveal it in view of your peers, but you know that you remain your father's favorite apprentice. So, in the end, what could Pancakeeas be called to do? I mean, being that he's already pointed out that, generally they don't call him to do anything major, maybe he's just supposed to escort somebody or, well, we already know he's supposed to escort somebody. So next time, we'll see who that guy is, who he's supposed to escort. And maybe he'll just be a cool old dude, or maybe he won't be a cool old dude. And either way you look at it, you'll find out next time. So, see you guys then.